Well, for more discussion of how China wants to develop the global reach of its digital economy, I'm joined from Beijing by Andy Mok, and I'm very glad he's here because he's a senior research fellow at the Center for China and Globalization. You know, Andy, I'm not entirely sure, even though we had that wonderful report from Lu Jiaxin there, what the digital economy really is. Can you give us a few ideas of the areas that it's likely to be developed in the near future?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me on, John. I think that the digital economy, and in particular what China is doing in the digital economy, really cannot be overemphasized in how important it is and the impact it will have on the entire world. Let me just give you a couple of quick examples. So if we go back to the early days of the internet, first of all, I think the digital economy is anything that can be disrupted by the internet or the mobile internet. So a couple of very quick examples. So if we go back to the early days of the internet, bookselling, Amazon disrupted, reinvented books by putting them online. Movie rentals, similarly. Now, most of us stream movies and TV shows online. Once upon a time, they were on cassette tapes or VCR tapes. So these are the kinds of things we're talking about. And I think we're going to only see even more profound transformation going forward. And China is in many ways showing us, the world, how this will happen.
Got it. I understand that completely. Well done. That's great. Thank you very much, Andy. Now, these digital forums, I believe there's been more than one, right? They've been traveling around. So who has been attending them?
Well, I think the plan here is this, as we heard in the piece, that this is modeled, inspired by the World Economic Forum, held at Davos and also in Tianjin as well. And I believe the plan here is that there will also be regional forums. And here's what's very interesting. So Luxembourg will be one for Europe, right. Dubai for the Middle East, Africa. But here's the really interesting one, Mexico. For North America.
Wow.
And I think this is also, yes. And I think what we're seeing here is the growing recognition of the rise of the rest, I believe some policy pundits have called it, that Mexico is an enormous country. Latin America offers a lot of growth and a lot of innovative potential as well as opportunities for digitally powered trade with the rest of the world. So I think that this is, again, an important development.
How funny, though, Andy, that Davos has been cancelled this year and it's going to be, oddly enough, a digital online event in the summer. It's funny that they want to create a digital Davos. Did the pandemic help or did it hinder the digital economy, do you think?
Well, I think there's pretty widespread agreement on this, John, that the pandemic, as tragic as it's been in the human cost of lost lives and suffering, has really been a catalyst and an accelerant for the digital economy all around the world. But I think, again, China is leading the way here because of its large population, but also how digitally savvy people are here and eager to adopt the latest advances.
That's good. Let's develop that a bit further. Digital innovation is something that President Xi, I know, has spoken about frequently this year. What are some of the president's previously identified goals in this area? And indeed, is there anything new that has sprung up from the forum so far?
Well, I think there are two big ideas here, John. So first of all, President Xi, as you said, has underscored in many different venues the centrality of innovation-driven development. And this is, of course, starting with China. But the second, I think, very subtle and less appreciated, but very important shift is China's emphasis from influencing the world to benefiting the world. And a lot of this will be through the digital economy. So a couple of recent initiatives. China has offered to provide transfer digital technologies to ASEAN, provide training for scientists and researchers in this area, opening digitally based markets to countries in Africa. So again, I think what we see here is this classic Chinese approach of a very strategic, holistic view that balances a lot of considerations with really unparalleled execution ability. So this is why I go back to this original idea that I think it's very hard to overemphasize the importance and the impact that China's prioritization of the digital economy is going to have, not just on China, but the world.
Okay, we'll leave it there, Andy. Thank you very much for those clear answers. We appreciate it. Andy Mok,
Thank you, John.
Thank you, sir. Senior Research Fellow at the Center for China and Globalization.